Hi friends, David here from Above AVL, and in this video I'm pumped because we're going to talk about PA systems, especially for small bands, smaller venues. What do you actually need? What parts do you need to put together a PA system? And last but not least, how do you find the right thing and of course get it into your hands at the right price? Let's dive in. All right. So when it comes down to it, small PA systems have a handful of components and they really don't have to be complicated. In this video, we're going to talk about, how you figure out what you need and get the right thing without buying too much, but also without buying too little that you really regret it later when it doesn't meet your needs fully. A PA system is here to amplify what's coming from the stage. And so in a small venue or with a small band, or even a small DJ setup, there's going to be a variety of different things you might be doing, right? In some cases, it's just somebody on a microphone, doing some karaoke, doing some basic, talking, announcements, etc. You're going to a lot of times have single or duo performers. Okay. And if you're a small band, you may have anywhere from just a PA that's doing vocals and maybe some of the instruments, like things that are not amplified, all the way to a full band setup, though that is kind of at the top of the small band that we're talking about today. So let's go ahead and start with the speakers and work backwards. So a simple sound system has a number of things. And all of those things really can be in one combo unit if it's a pretty small setup. So for example here, this guy is the Yamaha, oops, knocked one of my feet off, is a Yamaha Stage Pass 200. Okay. These guys are really cool and honestly sound really good. So what these are, just to show you, put its foot back on. It's cold, and so these rubber feet are on the struggle bus a little bit. So what these are is these are a battery powered or not speaker with a nice mixer built in, including a Bluetooth app that lets you actually adjust some things and get into the controls a little bit if you need to. Okay, so we love little units like this for smaller spaces because they do a couple things really well. Number one, as you can see, I can use this as a floor monitor for a musician if I need to. Say I grow, say I expand later, but also on the side, we have a speaker pole mount. So you can take off these rubber feet, okay? Boom, pop it on a speaker stand. Yes, it's sideways, but it doesn't matter because it is a round pattern coming out of sound coming out of the speaker. And so that is going to give you the ability to use it as a main speaker if you desire. Okay. But it also has little speakers like this, have a mixer built in. So you can go ahead on the back, okay, and you can plug in all your stuff. So you basically get four inputs, basically three microphones, okay, and then one Bluetooth for music playback or stereo audio, etc. Okay, so these little units, we love these things. And for the simplest situations, they are amazing. Okay, Yamaha has this is the Stage Pass 200. They have a 100, which for the smallest of situations works. I wouldn't overpromise what that one can do, right? It's not exceptionally loud. It sounds good, but it doesn't have a super wide frequency range, and it has pretty basic mixer functionality. The 200, though, as well as the Stage Pass 1K, which is a column speaker, are both insanely excellent options. If you look at them pound for pound to other stuff on the market, they usually match or beat the prices that are hyped up by marketing a lot from other companies. Not only that, Yamaha does on most of their products a 7-year warranty on their active speakers. Not only that, the Stage Pass 200 comes in a battery operated version or a non battery operated version. If you buy the regular without the battery, you can still add it later. Okay. So these are great because you literally can plug everything in and get some basic control from the knobs. Okay, this is great if you're just doing, singer-songwriter, single musician, got a variety of acts coming in. Boom, it's like turn it up. You have the ability, the EQ on the knob is set between microphone and instrument, and you just turn it more in whichever direction you want, and it's going to customize the EQ for that, which we love. And then there's actually a reverb, delay, and chorus, which you can select between and dial in. Okay, so you're dialing the level and selecting it all in one knob. So these things we love. And in smaller, spaces, up to like 100 people, in a lot of cases, playing a variety of types of music as a main speaker or two of them for main speakers on some stands, these things rock. They sound really good and they work really well too. They have the mixer built in, but that doesn't mean you can't use them with an external mixer. You 100% can. Okay, so these are a great first step, either for gigging bands, they have like a cover too that you can get with it, or for venues, okay, that are small venues. Maybe if you have bigger acts come in, they bring in their own stuff. Maybe you're going to upgrade in the future. These are a great first step. And the fact that they have the feet, these rubber feet that turn it into a stage monitor so you can tilt it like this, means that if you outgrow these things and you say, you know what, for my main speakers, I want something with some more oomph. Maybe I'm doing more like EDM and I need some bigger speakers with subs. You can always turn this into a portable speaker that you use outside for little quick events, a stage monitor, really versatile. Okay, so speakers are going to be the first thing. And like I said, something like these Stage Pass 200s, they offer the ability to be both a speaker and a mixer, and of course, the cabling in between it. If you're jumping up to stuff that's a little bit bigger, you need to cover a little more area, you need it to get louder, etc. That's where you start to put together a package. Okay. So you'll have speakers, often like this. This is a 10-inch speaker. A lot of times a 10 is plenty good, especially if you need extra bass, you can add in a sub. Okay. And then from those speakers, generally, most of the time, we're doing what are called active or powered speakers. Okay. In this modern day, there's just so many reasons why active speakers make sense. Yamaha active speakers have a 7-year warranty on them too, which is killer. That's why one of the reasons why we love Yamaha, though we can get a lot of the other brands and do sell them, Yamaha's often our top pick. Okay. Next, we've got cables, right? So you're going to need cables for powered speakers, microphone cables, the cable between the microphone and any mixer you might have, and the mixer and the speaker is the same kind of cable. That makes it easy. It's all microphone cable. And so that makes things really simple. Okay. So how do you choose speakers for the size of space? This is one of those, it depends. Okay. The first thing it depends on is the size of your space, the amount of people you're going to put in there. Okay. How far does the speaker need to throw or cover? Right. The next part of the equation is what type of material or what kind of content are you doing in the space, right? Because obviously a metal band, a EDM, rave type event needs some serious power, some serious volume, right? An acoustic act, bluegrass, right? You still want it to sound great, but you certainly don't need all that volume and definitely not all that bass. Okay. So these are the things that we really consider and, weigh out a lot. Okay. A lot of times you might have an idea of what you need based on times you've been at other venues, use their systems. You're like, hey, they have this, it worked well, or it was lacking in this area. And that's where we can help to let you know what would fit best for your needs. Okay. So speakers, you'll need speaker stands. If you're doing a lot of bass, I would say if you're doing rock, if you're doing metal, EDM, anything in that range, you definitely want to consider getting some subs or a column-based system can also work. Though if you're going to go loud, a lot of times these all-in-one column systems are going to be a little bit lacking. Okay, for DJ setups for like weddings and proms and things like that, column speakers can be great for folk music, for bluegrass, those softer genres, column speakers or single, like the Stage Pass 200 can be great. And it's a great way to get it all in one system where you've got everything you need. You don't have to overcomplicate it. If you need to get louder, then we're talking about speakers and speaker stands and probably also subs. Speakers can be on their own stands, or you can do a sub pole, which goes from the sub to the top, cleans up your setup a little bit. You just have to be careful, especially if you're outdoors or areas with uneven ground, that you have a good place to put the sub where it's going to be sturdy enough, or else using a tripod stand is going to work. As mentioned, cables, microphone cables, go between the speakers, the subs, and the mixer or the soundboard. Okay. So the mixer or the soundboard is the next piece to talk about. In front of me here, I have got myself a Yamaha DM3. This is an awesome 16 channel mixing console that's digital. Okay. It has a control surface, but you can 100% control it wirelessly as well. Choosing the right mixer, honestly, is a whole topic in itself, but we'll cover it quickly here. Okay. It's going to depend on the level of control or processing you want, how physical you want the controls to be, physical, in front of you, or just wireless on a tablet, and then the capability of the folks who are running it. If you have a pretty simple setup or you have a lot of operators running through and you just want something simple, then an analog console is still going to be a great bet. A lot of modern analog consoles have the ability to have some compression or some effects built in, so you can still add some reverb, some echo to it to make the room feel a little more alive in spaces that you need that. But you're not overcomplicating things. On an analog console, everything's out in front of you. It's simple. It's easy. You turn the knobs, you set them where you need to, and it doesn't take someone too competent to go, hey, turn it up, turn it down till you get it right. However, if you're going to have people running it or you just want more control and you want the ability to make better sound and to tweak it more, then going digital definitely makes sense. There are digital consoles that are just a box that are controlled completely by a tablet. There are ones that are a fuller control surface with a screen. Okay. Having a full control surface means you can work faster and be able to dial things in more quickly. It also means you don't have to connect wirelessly or deal with apps or any of that. But for a lot of small venues or smaller bands, you know what? Having something that's small, that doesn't take up a lot of space, that in a venue you can stick in a back room or at the back corner of stage is going to be your best bet. A lot of times, just going with something with just tablet control is perfect for these types of scenarios. Coming into the mixer, you will have instruments. If you're starting out, primarily just get a bunch of microphones. SM58s by Shure are like the de facto default. Everybody knows them, everybody's used them. They're very predictable, very reliable. Get yourself a handful of those into a mixer, and that's going to be your bet for when you're first starting. As you grow, things like DI boxes, which I know there's one somewhere, but who knows? I've got an example DI box somewhere, allow you to bring instruments directly in without an amp. That's kind of a next level thing because you can, when you start to do that, introduce things like hums and buzzes and have to work through getting rid of those. Okay, it's not quite as straightforward as taking a microphone, sticking it on a microphone stand, which you also need, and sticking that, plugging that into a mixer, plugging that into speakers, and you're off to the races. Okay. And so those are the basic components and considerations of what you want to think about with a small venue. Okay. I know this was a lot of information, but over at Above AVL, we not only have some packages that help get you started, and these are really popular with these types of folks, but we also have our gear experts available to contact at gear@aboveavl.com by adding items to your cart and requesting a quote, or by calling or texting us. And our gear experts love to hear about what you're doing, help you find the perfect thing, and help you get it into your hands. If we can help you do that, we would love to be your source for all your audio, video, and lighting gear, help personalize that price for you with a quote, and get that stuff into your hands. We've got lots of stuff in stock. We love to help you find the perfect thing. And you'll see both with people rating our company and the products on our site that we just love to help people and would love to earn your business for the long term. If that resonates with you, head over to aboveavl.com. We'd love to help. We'll see you guys there. Thanks.